Hello, and welcome to Journeys in Faith with Anne DeSantis here on the Anne DeSantis YouTube channel on this Friday evening. I have an amazing guest for you. As you can see right next to me, I have Elizabeth Simutis. She is the Director of Engagement and Growth for Catholic Legacy. Elizabeth, thank you so much for joining me on the show tonight.
Thank you for having me. It's a joy to be here with you to talk about this really wonderful, supportive, awesome new tool.
Yes, I'm excited to hear more myself. You and I are just getting acquainted right before we started the taping. We're getting to know each other's missions and just hearing about Catholic legacy. It really does whet my appetite to want to learn more too. So, not just the audience, me too. Why don't we start out with a little bit about your faith journey and just how you got involved in this too? We'd love to hear.
Great, thank you. So I was born and raised in Michigan, Detroit, Michigan, and I've spent the last 30 years outside of Chicago, Illinois, where I met my husband. We've been married for 27 years. We subsequently had six babies. The third is actually in heaven, was stillborn full term. And our kids are 26 to 12. So we have a very robust, happy Catholic life. I was a cradle Catholic. My husband was also, but really, when our babies started to grow up, we really just kind of had a reversion to the faith in a way that we knew that we needed to live it in order to model it, especially in our home life. I've had quite an interesting business journey. After Michigan State University, I went into international business, financial services, sales consulting, even to education, private Catholic education. So I've been exposed to business, and I've been exposed to families. I've been exposed to Catholic life in other families. I've pretty much seen it all. Now I am at Relevant Radio, where I get to take all of that and help others commission their mission out into the world, which is so rewarding for me and for all of us here at Relevant Radio. So.
Yeah, I love to hear that. And I know there's a lot more to, the details, right? The details of your journey. If there's anything else you'd like to share, because I know that right before we got on this program, you were telling me that, you've learned yourself the importance of the Catholic legacy and making the right decisions.
Mhm.
So please do share.
Sure. I don't think it's ever too early to start to think about your future and passing on your legacy. And what I mean by that is we never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So, young families, old families, there's a number of reasons why you would want to sit down and think about what's going to happen if something happens to you. And more importantly, how does that reflect years of Catholic faith? How does it support the church? How does it provide for your families in a stress-free way? Because when tragedies happen, nobody knows what to do. So you want to give confidence to your family members and those around you that you've provided for them and that your wishes are going to be honored. So for instance, a simple thing, even a young family who has children, if something were to happen to you, you want to make sure that there's an agent. You want to make sure that your children are provided for, that things aren't going to end up in a complete mess. And what makes Catholic legacy special in that regard is that it's free, first of all. There are a lot of will writing platforms out there that charge you money. We wanted to make this platform accessible to everybody. And that's exactly what it is. We also wanted to make it very user-friendly. So the online forms are very easy to use. We wanted to also make sure that it was secure and that you could have functionality. You could share it with people. So for busy people, for older, more elderly people who have very simple situations, but they want to make sure that they can leave a bequest, this affords you the opportunity to do that. Also, what's really unique about this is it not only has the will writing platform, estate form to use, but it also has a healthcare directive and a funeral planner. Those two items are extremely important in thinking about if something were to happen to you, because you don't want to end up in a hospital, and this happens, where your family members don't know what your wishes are, something has happened to you, you can't speak for yourself, and you certainly don't want the hospital staff and doctors making decisions for you, because everybody comes at it from a different angle. Whereas Catholic Legacy absolutely ensures that it's in a package of Catholic faith and through a Catholic lens. We teamed up with attorneys, canon lawyers, and also the National Catholic Bioethics Centers with priests and other experts in moral theology to make sure that the tool itself could guide you through what is authentically Catholic. So the funeral planner is interesting. There's no a tool like this on any other site, is that you can actually plan out your funeral every step of the way. You can choose, and you can listen to and choose songs. You can consider who's going to do your readings, who's going to be your pallbearers, how you want to include everybody in that. So between the will writing platform, the healthcare directive, and the funeral directive, it's one complete package. You can fill out the forms. They're very easy to do. Then you print them, you get your attorney to sign them, and then you can even load them back into the platform to share them, so that whoever you deem as your agent, your family members, can have a copy of that. And then you're giving everybody peace of mind that you've expressed your wishes for end of life, which is very pro-life. So Catholic Legacy is a way we are really encouraging families to also leave bequests and support charities. And we do that because that overall supports the church. And we're seeing actually that users who are using Catholic Legacy overall are leaving gifts to charity at a rate 5 times the national average. That is really important, because it means that those funds left undistributed in probate will end up in the state, especially for, to be used in ways that is against your conscience. So this is also a way for estate planning to happen, and for other organizations to use Catholic Legacy for estate planning, meaning parishes can use this with their parishioners, and they can offer this as an opportunity. Schools can use it. Anybody interested, foundations or nonprofits can use it. That way, they're offering a service. And then hopefully, if someone wants to leave a bequest to that nonprofit, we really want to encourage that giving as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow. I'm personally excited to learn even more than this. I mean, I know that when you do a half-hour podcast, you can't possibly unpack everything, right? It's just impossible to do that. So that's why it's important for all of you to go to that website, which please tell us that. I believe it's catholiclegacy.com, isn't it?
Yes, catholiclegacy.com.
Yes, please do. Now, we do have to take a really short break, very short. We will be back in just a few, so stay tuned. We will be back here with Elizabeth Simutis. Hello, this is Anne DeSantis. I'm an author and speaker with the Catholic Speakers Organization. To learn about my work and ministry, or to book an event, visit the speaking events page at annedesantis.com. Thank you. Welcome back. That was quick, just like I told you, right?
Mhm.
So we are here again with Elizabeth Simutis talking about a legacy, right? Catholic legacy. And let's just continue this conversation. There's so much more to unpack, to learn. Um, so, what would be those steps? Say someone's watching right now and they're saying, I do want to do this. I'm really interested. Is there a way for them to learn about it before they actually go ahead and fill out that form and make that final decision?
Yes, so I really encourage your listeners to go to CatholicLegacy.com, and you can even look at the site very well even before you log in and sign up. But I encourage you to log in and create an account for yourself and sign up, because then you can start to use the form and see how interactive it is and how easy it is to use. The other thing on the site that's very helpful is we extracted a lot of information through years of programming. Well, actually, it's Relevant Radio's 25th anniversary this year. We've taken all of that wealth of knowledge, and there's articles and blogs on the site from our show hosts, conversations, which help people to understand the need and the importance of end of life decisions, and also encouraging reflection on how to leave a faith-filled legacy, why planning ahead is an act of love for your family, and why it's a testament to your faith. And so all of those resources there help you come to good decisions, which ultimately gives peace to your family. I've been in situations where everybody's in the room, a tragedy has occurred, and nobody knows what to do. And you have siblings arguing, and you have some siblings who are practicing the faith, some who aren't practicing the faith. Some say, let's do a celebration of life and spread the ashes in the water. Some say, nope, we want a traditional funeral. All that's, conversation that really doesn't reflect your own wishes. And when you go to the site and you see that there's a lot of resources to learn about um, ways to preserve your legacy and to articulate your wishes, you begin to discern what's important, and especially making sure that that reflects your faith and sets that example for your family in the future. I think it's actually a great evangelization tool, because we have so many people who maybe have fallen away from the faith, weren't well catechized, and also might help recatechize you in the faith. There may be things that you didn't know were important in planning a funeral, but could have pretty serious ramifications when it comes down to it. It also allows you to ask for prayers for you while you're in heaven. You can request masses. And again, that's an evangelization tool that you can use with your family to show them the importance. So there are many facets to this, and we encourage you to tap into those resources on the site, even if it's not about using the form right away, but then eventually leading you to the form. And I'm just so confident that those resources help you get started and make it very accessible to everybody.
Yeah, agreed. Because there's so much power in educating yourself, isn't there? And as Catholics, people who care about their faith and passing it on, it makes a tremendous difference to know what you're doing when it comes to these decisions, right?
Right.
And, many in my audience, I mean, I have people in the audience of all ages. I mean, I just so happen to be on that brink of heading into a new decade. I won't say which one, right? But as I'm heading into that new decade pretty soon, and by the time this podcast is being aired, I'll be there. We need to really pray about the right decisions, don't we? We need to. to reflect on what is important to us and
Mhm.
families with our Catholic legacy. Um, so is there anything else that you think is really important to share? And what's going on in the now, is it a nonprofit or
Yes.
okay, your nonprofit? I was going to say, what is going on in the nonprofit that you might want to share with others? Some news or events or something like that that you might want people to know about?
Well, first thing, I wanted to circle back really quickly to something you mentioned or something that you were teasing out. At Relevant Radio, we pray online, on air, in collective prayer every day at 3 through the Divine Mercy Chaplet, and every day at 7 o'clock at night on Family Rosary Across America. And the number one prayer we hear is that my children will return to the faith, that my children will return to the church. That speaks volumes about where we are as a culture in the church, and our understanding of what's important. So I would just like to reiterate that our children, if they're not living the faith and they've fallen away, memories are short. You can't remember what's important about it. And you want to make sure that you can plan for that and really make sure that that your wishes are fulfilled, and you want to give peace to your family in that regard. So we know that that's an important aspect. As far as the nonprofit world goes and Catholic legacy, it was our goal to make this accessible to everyone. In fact, I was watching a commercial during one of the football games on a will writing program. I think it's for $199, you can make a will. Or even if you were to go to an attorney directly and have them write a very simple plan for you that could start at $3,000. This form was intended specifically to be accessible to the masses, to make sure that anybody who wanted and to, leave their Catholic legacy, to their families, that this was an accessible way for them to do that.
So good to know all the dynamics because when we don't really take the time and set aside the time to say, you know what, I have a to-do list for the rest of my life. I need to get some things done, even though I don't maybe want to think about it, right? We do have to do all this. This is part of life, isn't it? And it's part of being a good person to those who are entrusted to your care, whether it be your family, your kids, your nieces, your nephews, whoever that is in your life. We owe it to them. Now, I know you're going to talk about what your call to action to everyone, which is to use this program to explore the resources and also to share it. Talk about that, and especially the last piece, because somebody's watching this right now, and maybe they're even somebody who's using Catholic legacy, but they have some other relatives or friends that they need to share that with.
Yes, in fact, my mother, my sweet mother, has a lot of friends. They're all in their 80s, and she was so excited when she heard about this, because she helps a lot of her friends make decisions and spends time with them, and she knows that there are women who their husbands have gone before them, and they received benefits and the legacy maybe from their husband, but they haven't articulated their own since. And in this case, because it's so easy to use and the forms ask you very direct questions, you type in very direct answers, you click submit and print. And because we use best practices to make sure that all of the information is safe and secure. We do not sell information to anybody, which is also why we wanted to develop our own platform, because we wanted that information secure. For my mom, it gave her so much joy to be able to share that information with her friends so that they could use this tool and even maybe walk them through it and help them with it, because she was able to help with it as well. It's that simple to use, and you could probably complete one of the forms in about 15 to 30 minutes if you had an idea in your mind of what your wishes are. So in that regard, it is really, again, it's evangelization. It's pro-life, it's evangelization, and it's a way for us to care for each other.
That's right. A way for us to care for each other, because as Catholics and as Christians, that's really what it's all about, an imitation of Christ and being missionary disciples for Christ
Mhm.
too. And so I would like to recommend to our audience to please to go to catholiclegacy.com, check it out. Now, would you have any final words before we end on this topic?
Yes, I think that um, we really want to encourage people mostly to reflect on how they want to leave their faithful legacy. Like, don't put it off. Like you said, we get busy, it's hard to make time for things, but it's something we need to take to prayer. And I think we have a responsibility as Catholics to make sure that we fulfill all our life's work in this way, so that we just don't randomly leave it to the distribution by the government. And to provide for those, maybe we don't have any family left, but there's some other organization that we could provide for. So I think keeping that in our Catholic family is important. Planning ahead is really an act of love for your family. It's a testament of our faith. Again, it keeps it in the family. And I really just direct listeners to go to CatholicLegacy.com, ask questions, ask for help, and share it with your friends.
That's right. And I know you have a social media presence too. So I would also say connect with them on all those social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, right?
Yes.
I know you're on LinkedIn. I
Yes.
saw you there. I
Yeah.
think you might be on X too. So just do all the right things, everybody. Check it out, subscribe, go to the website, and think about filling out the form and getting your will and taking care of everything, right? You're
Right.
going to get that sense of peace afterwards. You really will.
Right. And I encourage listening to Relevant Radio, because there you can get so many other resources. It's live radio. I encourage the collective prayer. I mean, we pray, like I said, daily. Daily mass is available, especially in areas where people might not have a priest. I mean, it's all over the world through our free app. So, our mindset at Relevant Radio is freely give, freely receive. That's what we're here to do. So CatholicLegacy.com is where you set up your future, and you provide for your family, and you execute on your faithful legacy.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being a guest on my program.
Mhm.
And also for people who are new to my show, we air the first and third Friday of every month at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm a Philadelphian, although this is a national program all over. And so please do subscribe. You just go to the Anne DeSantis YouTube channel, and Journeys in Faith with Anne DeSantis is also on Facebook and on Instagram.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you
thank you.
again, Elizabeth.
Yeah, thank you so much for hosting and for spotlighting Catholic Legacy, and for all you do. And um, we have so much power in our feminine genius to communicate to the world. We were talking earlier. So thank you for all you do for the church and for your listeners.
Well, thank you too. God bless you, and also to everyone watching. We will see you next time here on Journeys in Faith with Anne DeSantis on the Anne DeSantis YouTube channel. See you then.